Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now, live at 4 on this Monday. It's all together. Whew.
Yes, exactly. Doesn't it feel great?
What a relief.
Turn the AC off, open the windows up. Good stuff.
It's going to be a little warmer all week, but not that humidity like we had.
No, it's wonderful.
We'll get to the weather in a minute. But first, here's what's making news today. We're continuing to follow the fires at two MG&E substations last Friday that caused a massive power outage on one of the hottest days of the year.
A woman is dead after a bike crash yesterday in Verona. Why some people say there needs to be better signage at the intersection where it happened.
And crowds are gathering in Puerto Rico calling for the resignation of the island's governor.
Let's take a look outside today. It was refreshing.
It really was. You could breathe.
Look at you can see the breeze blowing. That's a pretty picture. That almost looks a little autumnal, doesn't it?
It does, but we got a long ways to go. The sunshine stays with us, and Dana's in the backyard. Boy, it's a lot better today than last week.
It is. I'm not dying outside right now. It's nice out on the patio. We have sunshine. We have pretty decent temperatures, a nice little light breeze. Also, here's a live look from our WISC-TV sky cam. Barely a few clouds in the sky. Otherwise, just mostly sunny through the rest of this evening. So if you do have any outdoor plans, you're all good to go because our Doppler track's also nice and quiet. And we don't have any rain or any thunderstorms coming in for us tonight, nor for the next several days. We're in a nice little dry stretch. Currently 76 in Madison. That's a lovely number to say. 77 in Mineral Point at about 75 in the Dells. Looking ahead to tomorrow, plan on more sunshine. It will be just a degree or two warmer in the afternoon, and that trend's actually going to carry through the rest of the week. A little bit of a warm up ahead almost every day. But we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the rest of the work week and the following weekend in just a few minutes. Right now, as far as traffic is concerned, here's a look at the Beltline and Park Street. Both east and westbound seem to be moving along fairly okay. For the Beltline. Of course, we're starting to see those slow down spots in the eastbound side the closer you get to John Nolan. Looking around Middleton and up towards Wanakee, we don't have any major delays yet, but as more folks get on the roads, I'm sure things will start to slow down just a little more. 27 minutes to get from Janesville to the Beltline, 16 to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and 16 also to get from Sun Prairie to downtown. Again, quite a nice evening ahead for us. So I hope you're able to get outside and enjoy the sunshine and this lovely weather that we have currently. The temperatures are fantastic.
Yeah, sounds great. All right, thank you, Dana.
Topping the news today, the bicyclist killed in a collision in Verona yesterday afternoon has been identified.
The crash is calling to attention the safety between drivers and bicyclists. Gabriella Becerra joins us now with more information. Gabby?
According to the incident report, a Ford Escape traveling westbound on County Highway PD collided with Flogel at the intersection of Military Ridge State Trail and Highway PD. The popular trail is separated by the highway. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says it is expected for the bicyclist to yield to traffic when approaching a roadway. There are signs on the highway that signal trail ahead. The vehicles on the highway are moving at speeds that don't allow them to slow down quick enough.
You approach those roadways, stop and make sure that there's no oncoming traffic. These are vehicles that are traveling at highway speeds in this situation, and they're just not able to come to a stop as quickly as you would think.
Bike safety experts say it is important to have a bike equipped with appropriate gear, including lights and reflectors, to help drivers see you. They say it's also important for drivers to remember to share the road with bicyclists. At 6, I will share more information on how bicyclists can stay safe on the road.
All right, we'll see you then, Gabby, thank you.
5 people have been hospitalized in Rock County after a 3-vehicle crash yesterday afternoon. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, they responded to a crash at the intersection of North State Highway 213 and West County Highway A in the town of Magnolia. A driver in a Chevy Silverado was traveling eastbound when he failed to stop and hit a Ford F-150 headed southbound. Everyone is recovering from serious but non-life-threatening injuries.
People in the Fox Valley continue to clean up after violent storms this weekend. 21,000 people were without power this morning after one of the most powerful storms to hit the area in decades. On Friday night, more than 80,000 people were without power after 3 confirmed tornadoes hit. A 4th tornado tore through New London on Saturday morning. Wisconsin Rapids Public Schools was forced to cancel summer school classes today because of the power outage. And we are learning more in the last half hour about what led up to a pair of fires at substations for Madison Gas and Electric and the American Transmission Company.
MG&E says ATC is leading the investigation into what caused the fires. Our Rose Schmidt joins us live from the Blount Street substation where the fire broke out. Rose?
Well, Mark and Susan, 3 days after that explosion and fire happened, you can see crews are still out here working. MG&E says a mechanical issue caused a transformer to blow and damaged equipment belonging to MG&E. But today, the company says the fire actually started in a piece of equipment belonging to ATC, the transmission company. We know that fire started around 7:40 on Friday here at the Blount Street substation and led to another fire at a connected substation at East Campus. The Brass Ring is one of the closest businesses to the MG&E plant. The owner there says she was out of town when it happened, but her employees were pretty shaken up. They had to throw out some food and have been trying to figure out exactly how much revenue they lost because of the power outage on Friday.
We weren't able to be open for business on Friday, and that was unfortunate for us. Obviously, weekends are kind of a big deal in the bar business, but yeah, things happen. So doing this 15 years, this is the first time.
Officials with OSHA confirmed today that they are not investigating the incident at the substations because no workers were around at the time and no one was injured, so they don't have jurisdiction. And officials with MG&E say the company will continue to work with ATC to make sure that they have a resilient and reliable electric grid, and both companies will continue to assess the equipment that was damaged after this fire.
All right, Rose Schmidt reporting live from downtown Madison. Thank you.
The University of Wisconsin system will pay a former student $325,000 to settle claims that a professor sexually harassed her. The student sued in October, alleging that UW Oshkosh failed to take action against former art professor Michael Bites. A 2015 UW Oshkosh investigation found he violated system policies. He resigned in June of 2015 and got a job at the University of Colorado Boulder 2 months later.
The conversation about race continues following President Trump's tweet last week telling 4 congresswomen of color to go back from where they came. President Trump is staying on the offensive against the 4 known as the Squad. This morning he tweeted, "The Squad is a very racist group of troublemakers who are young, inexperienced, and not very smart. So bad for our country."
Pulling the Democrats way left. Nobody knows how to handle them. I feel they're easy to handle. To me, they're easy to handle because they're just out there. They're very bad for our country, absolutely.
A really dangerous ideology that's about othering people, dehumanizing others. And we have to continue to fight back.
A new CBS News poll finds an overwhelming majority of Americans see the country divided along racial lines. Nearly 9 in 10 Americans, 87% of poll respondents say the country is divided along racial lines.
Iran is claiming that it broke up a CIA spy ring and arrested 17 Iranians recruited to collect information about the country's nuclear and military sites. Officials claim some recruits have already been sentenced to death. President Trump fired back on Twitter this morning, writing, "The report of Iran capturing CIA spies is totally false, zero truth, just more lies and propaganda."
I read a report today about CIA. That's totally a false story. That's another lie. They put out propaganda.
This latest back and forth just adds to growing tensions between the West and Tehran. Iranian state TV released video overnight that claims to show crew members of the British-flagged oil tanker that Iran seized in the Strait of Hormuz on Friday. A cameraman can be heard telling the men what to do, but it is not clear if the 23 crew members were under threat. Tehran accuses the crew of various violations, but Britain claims it did nothing wrong.
A massive crowd gathered in San Juan today in what organizers say is the largest protest so far, calling for the resignation of Puerto Rico's governor. The embattled politician has been under fire following the leak of vulgar chat messages and allegations of corruption within his administration. CBS's David Begnow has been following this story for days. He has the latest on the protest in San Juan.
It was a sea of protesters, many carrying Puerto Rican flags, who shut down the main highway that links San Juan to the rest of the island. At times, it was difficult for emergency vehicles to get through. There was music and dancing. It felt like a parade. But along with the festive atmosphere was a serious message. They want Puerto Rico's Governor Ricardo Rosselló to resign immediately.
I know what you're here to do. You're here to protest. But why?
Well, I'm here for my country. I believe everyone has the opportunity, to overcome whatever we have suffered. And it is not okay that the people that we decided to be responsible for our country doing this.
On Sunday night, Rosselló tried to calm the tension, announcing on social media that he will not seek re-election, but he stopped short of resigning. That did not do much to appease Puerto Ricans who are angry over allegations of corruption, as well as leaked chat messages between the governor and members of his inner circle. Those messages included profane, homophobic, and sexist comments about political opponents and others. This is the 10th straight day of demonstrations, and more are expected later in the week. The message is clear. Protesters will not back down until the governor steps down. David Begno, CBS News, San Juan.
And many businesses, including the island's largest mall, closed ahead of today's demonstrations.
Mourners gathered today to remember the late Justice John Paul Stevens, who died last week at the age of 99 after suffering a stroke. President Trump and the First Lady paid their respects to Justice Stevens, with his body lying in repose at the Supreme Court. Former and current justices honored their colleague. Associate Justice Elena Kagan filled Stevens' seat on the bench when he retired in 2010.
I've thought about the enormity of Justice Stevens' shoes and the impossibility of filling them. I've thought about the enormity of Justice Stevens' shoes and the impossibility of filling them.
After a private funeral on Tuesday, Justice John Paul Stevens will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Justice Stevens was nominated to the High Court by President Gerald Ford in 1975.
Well, still to come at 4, mental health treatment is about to take a huge step forward in Dane County.
We'll take a tour of the expansion of Unity Point Health Meritor's Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Hospital on Madison's west side. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Sleep problems.
Welcome back. It was one of the largest data breaches in history, and today Equifax agreed to pay the largest settlement ever for a hack that exposed the private information of nearly half of all American customers.
2 years after the breach, the credit reporting agency has agreed to a settlement of up to $700 million. That includes up to $425 million for consumers who were financially harmed, and could be as much as $20,000 per claim, reimbursing those impacted for both time and expenses fighting identity theft.
As long as they have reasonable documentation in the form of receipts that they paid for credit monitoring or that they paid for security freezes, they should be able to get reimbursed for that amount.
Equifax will also provide at least 10 years of free credit monitoring and at least 7 years of free services for restoring stolen identities. For details on filing a claim, the company set up the website EquifaxBreachSettlement.com.
Stocks ended slightly higher on Wall Street at the start of a crowded week for corporate earnings reports. The Dow Industrials gained 17 points, closing at 27,171. The Nasdaq Composite Index gained 57, and the S&P 500 was up 8. Well, Unity Point Health Meriter is just 3 months away from unveiling a new $13 million expansion.
The expansion of the Child and Adolescent Psychiatry Hospital on Madison's west side will double the footprint of the existing hospital, and it will offer vital mental health services, including some that are not currently available in Madison, in a beautiful, calming, state-of-the-art, brand new space. Medical Director Dr. Katie Schmidt took us on a tour. Why does the community need something like
The main driver is absolutely demand and the need to really improve access for mental health treatment. For 9 months of the year, really during the school year, we run a wait list for our services, and it is really hard to say no to these kids who need help.
I can't imagine if I'm a mom and my child is in crisis and I come to see you and you say, sorry, we're all full.
I know, it happens a lot, actually.
Does it?
So one of the things that's just really difficult for me to understand, and I think for most of us who provide this service, is if a kid had any other medical illness that was acutely dangerous, they would never be told to go home and wait.
So we're in the lobby space.
We are in the lobby.
And seeing your original lobby, this is going to be amazing. The front door will be right here.
Front door, yep. And then a reception desk, a welcome wall. We're really trying to make this a comfortable, welcoming, warm experience. This is our outpatient space. Again, some of these services are not currently available in Madison, which I think is great.
So this will be a place where kids can come for part of the day, all
day? Yep, so it's not inpatient. So these kids are coming for day services. So they are either coming for a 4-hour block or an 8-hour block. The other really dream for this space is that it can be a community gathering area. So I'd love to partner with community resources, with schools, make it a place where everybody can come to learn about mental health.
And what are the kinds of issues that you see?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think too, it really drove our expansion model. So a lot of the little kids struggle more with like reactivity and aggression. And then as you kind of age up, there's much more of that depressive side, anxiety, a lot of self-harm. Many of our kids come to us after they've attempted to take their own lives. So we're dividing our unit now into an adolescent unit, like a tween unit, and then a younger unit, which again, we're gonna focus more on that kind of reactive, aggressive type of intervention with them.
So you can specialize the programming and tailor it to their specific needs.
They don't stay here very long. Our average length is about a week. So we have this small amount of time to really make an impact.
This is a hospital.
Yeah.
But not what you envision when you think of a hospital.
Yeah. This is not where kids are in their bed, hooked up to machines. They are out in the milieu. They're learning coping skills. They're connecting with one another and meeting other kids who struggle in the same way, which is so validating. So it's truly a place where they can heal, they can learn, and then go home with a set of tools. This is our new inpatient unit. It's not a hallway full of rooms. It's really hard to safely take care of a number of kids who have a lot of energy and reactivity in a hallway because there's just not a lot of room to move. So if you notice as we walk into this space how wide open it is. They're all private rooms, so each kiddo gets their own room. And I think the other really exciting part while we designed this was how do we give the kids space to really learn to de-escalate before they escalate. So within each wall, there are several different sensory rooms, or we like to call them relaxation rooms, where they can use equipment like crash pads or vestibular rocking chairs to really learn how to self-soothe and calm so that they carry those skills with them.
This is something you've dreamed about for 6 years plus.
Yeah.
To have it finally be brick and mortar,
yeah.
How does it feel for you?
It is absolutely surreal, and I feel incredibly grateful. Like, to resolve that wait list, to know that we're not saying no. A lot of us are parents, and to know that if I had a child that needed this service, like, it's here. And if we can help provide that for these families in our community, it's hard to put words to it. I just feel grateful.
So you can see in that drone picture, it's an existing, it's attached to the existing hospital.
It's already down here on Raymond Road.
The hospital takes care of more than 850 patients a year, and the expansion also includes a lot of things we didn't get a chance to show you: a computer room, a classroom, a yoga studio, and what Dr. Schmidt is most excited about, a full-service kitchen. Right now, they don't even have a kitchen there. It's scheduled to be done and welcoming patients in October, and then they're going to remodel the existing hospital as well.
Big step forward.
So it provides such a vital service, and we're so lucky to have it here in Madison, because the nearest place to get services like this is over an hour away from
And as Katie said, it's bringing new services that they didn't provide before.
Exactly. I was honored to MC their fundraiser this weekend, and the community raised over $80,000 to go toward this expansion.
That's great.
Very inspiring.
And you got a personalized hard hat out of the day.
Yes, I did. I got a little souvenir from the
good.
nice people at Findorf.
Well, there's more to come at 4. We'll find out what film critic Will Loper has to say about the new remake of The Lion King.
And then coming up on News 3 Now at 5, people are investigating after multiple vehicles were involved in a crash on East Washington Avenue this weekend. A lot of people have been saying it could have been street racing. That's coming up at 5.
At Harker
Take a look at this. A whale of a tale in Massachusetts where a group was fishing in Cape Cod Bay. While reeling in a fish, the group was shocked when a great white shark leapt out of the water and bit the fish in half. The predator wasn't the only one who jumped.
Right in front of that little boy. That was a little scary.
Here it is again.
For comfort.
And I think they cut the line.
They were done. Yeah.
Done.
We'll let the fish go.
Here's another fish story for you.
Yeah. You won't believe it was this big.
Good day to get out on the lake.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect day to get out on the lake, to get out with the dog, to get out on a jog. I know this weekend we were trying to talk about like what things did you put off last week, and I had a viewer actually tell me that they haven't been able to play cricket outside.
Well,
and of course everyone responded, who played cricket in America? Like who does that?
Well, there's a big cricket league in Madison.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They play every weekend.
I couldn't get out the bocce balls.
You couldn't get out the bocce. So many options, so many things. No, but the weather right now, it's fantastic. Whatever you want to do this evening, or whatever corner of southern Wisconsin you might be in, things really look great for us. The sky's nice and blue. The temperatures are wonderful. But we'll take a closer look, of course, at what's ahead for the rest of the week right after the break. Quite a good weekend for us. Of course, it started off a little rocky on Saturday. We had those storms coming through in the afternoon. Here's a picture from Loganville, actually, from Mike Knoll, of that shelf cloud that slid through, a really strong shelf cloud. We got a lot of pictures coming in. Of course, you can always send us pictures through email, Twitter, Facebook, whatever floats your boat, because we unfortunately stuck in the weather office. We don't have any windows, but a lot of us seeing this out in the parking lot with that shelf cloud sliding through. Again, the thunderstorms that sparked up on Saturday really almost killed themselves out. We had a few severe thunderstorm warnings along the western edge or west of Dane County, but to the east, by the time the storms got there, they really started to fizzle, just bringing some heavier rainfall at those spots. Again, that was Saturday. Behind the front, of course, Sunday was lovely. Today, nice for us also. Our Doppler track is going to be quiet, not just for today, but really through most of the work week. This image is going to stay pretty steady. Outside right now, of course, a beautiful blue sky. There are a few little clouds, but not enough to block out the sunshine. Temperature-wise, we're in the mid-70s. It feels quite comfortable. There is a little bit of a breeze coming from the north-northwest, about 14 miles an hour, so certainly you'll notice it. But with our dew points close to 50, it feels like we're right at the mid-70s. So a really pleasant afternoon and evening if you're able to step outside. I was really enjoying the time out on the patio at the start of the show. Unfortunately, last week, of course, there's dreading it the few times I had to go out, but now it's nice and pleasant. We have high pressure just off to the west, ridging through the plains in the northern Midwest. So keeping us all kind of in the same boat with temperatures at or below average and some sunshine along with that. Our breeze, of course, still coming from the north, so that cooler air is coming on in. The cold front that brought our thunderstorms is now driving all of those storms towards the east coast. They're dealing with some very strong thunderstorms at the edge of Pennsylvania, stretching all the way down to Virginia right now. Temperatures, again, in the mid-70s around Madison. We're close to 80 in La Crosse, but about 75 in Dubuque, so we don't have any temperature differences currently. No fronts dividing us right now, and our dew points all in a really great spot for your Monday evening. Heading overnight, we'll stay mostly clear for tomorrow. Temperatures are actually going to drop to the mid-50s overnight, so it'll be pretty comfortable to start off the day. Mid-upper 50s for most of the area. Tomorrow we're looking at a few more degrees added on. We'll be closer to 80 for our afternoon highs. And then by Wednesday, still mostly clear afternoon highs. Again, adding just a degree or two more for Wednesday, mid to low 80s. And then by Thursday and Friday, we're looking at those highs kind of landing in the mid 80s for us. And we'll also see a little bit of an increase in our humidity, unfortunately, towards the end of the week and this weekend. As far as those heat index readings tomorrow, again, it's going to feel similar to today, and that our temperatures will actually be close to what it feels like outside. But by Wednesday, it may start to feel just a little warmer than our actual temperatures, as we do see a little bit of an increase in our humidity, but still not too bad. Overall, it's going to continue to stay comfortable. Our dew points will stay low enough, at least through most of the work week. It's not until Friday and Saturday that we'll start to see those dew points creep on up, and our actual heat index ratings will be back close to 90. Again, overnight lows tonight will be landing in the mid to upper 50s, a mostly clear sky and pretty pleasant outside. 58's good sleeping weather in my book, although I still have the AC on, I know. Tomorrow we're looking at a high of 80 degrees, mostly sunny still, continued pleasant trend for us. Our breeze still coming from the north-northeast at about 6 to 12 miles per hour, similar to today in that you'll notice it, but it's not going to be too windy outside. Close to 80 for Tuesday, in the low 80s for Wednesday with some sunshine. Heat index readings will be in the mid 80s for Wednesday and Thursday, mid to upper 80s by Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We're looking at heat index readings closer to 90 for us as we see some chances for thunderstorms starting to build in heading into the weekend, and that's going to bring a little bit of an increase in our moisture, of course, and our heat index ratings. A stronger chance for showers is going to build in with a few systems sliding in to start off next week, but our temperatures still won't jump up nearly as much as, of course, what we dealt with last week. And even those heat index readings on Saturday and Sunday, upper 80s, close to 90. It doesn't sound so bad right now.
We can deal with that.
This looks like a week we wish we could bottle, you know, and just save.
If we could save it, and then of course once we get to like December and January, so remember this? Here we go. Yeah, keep that in the back pocket.
Good stuff.
That'd be ideal.
Little reward for us.
Yes, a nice little treat for us right now.
Dana, thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
There's nothing else like it in southeast Wisconsin. A two-story home made entirely out of shipping containers.
Mike Kirchhoff reports about a very different home going up in Grafton, Wisconsin.
We get a lot of looky-loos, is what I call them, rubberneckers.
They've never seen this before. You know, why?
Why build a home out of 6 40-foot, 8,600-pound steel shipping containers?
We don't want to live in a square metal box. That's not the point. The point is to have something unique.
Kevin and Amy Plato spent years trying to figure out what to do with their land on the Milwaukee River in the town of Grafton.
Once we saw it, we were convinced that this is the way we wanted to go.
At the same time, Justin Keel of Appleton-based Factotum was looking for clients to let him try some of his wildest ideas.
And they said, kind of do what you want to do and push the limits where you can. And so some of the things like the big 10-foot cantilevers and the 40-foot stair tower are things that I've wanted to do since the inception of the company.
And you can do those kinds of things with this kind of construction. Big overhangs, huge windows. It's eye-popping. Even the build is incredible to watch.
I knew it was going to be a pretty cool project, but once they started placing those containers, I was just in awe. It took, one day to construct a whole home, and it was pretty amazing to watch, and these guys are good.
That is
They
cool.
stole your idea.
I know. I told you that I was going to do that in Costa Rica.
Mark has always wanted to do that when you retire. See,
shipping containers.
The homeowners say the cost to build the home is about average with new home construction.
But because shipping containers are so cheap to buy, they're able to spend more money on higher-end finishes like fixtures and countertops.
See?
See?
They beat you to
Great
it.
idea.
Still to come tonight at 4, The Lion King returns to the big screen and takes over the weekend box office.
How does the new version compare to the original Lion King? We'll find out from our resident film critic, Will Loper, when Live at 4 continues.
Take your place in the circle of life.
That was a clip from The Lion King, one of the newest movies to hit theaters.
Is the Disney remake worth seeing? Here to let us know what he thinks is our film critic, Will Loper. Hi, Will. Boy, a lot of people looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. And I'm a little sorry to say, hey, this photorealistic take on the classic animated film is truly beautiful to look at. But as soon as the animals open their mouths to talk or sing, the movie sadly fails in every way. So unlike some Disney remakes that, try something new with the story, this film stays very close to the 1994 plotline. The Lion King Mufasa, still voiced by James Earl Jones, has a son Simba, who is tricked by his uncle Scar into thinking he killed his dad. So Simba runs away until his past calls him back home to reclaim the throne. Now, the filmmakers have stated they really want to make the animals as realistic as possible, and that's where the film suffers, because whenever the movie calls for emotions, the animals have exactly one expression. Simba's scared, same face. Simba's happy, same face. The voice for Simba is actively crying and weeping, and the animated lion has the same unchanging face. So this film sets out to make a nature documentary and an emotional experience, but it just can't have both worlds. Now, there are a few bright spots. The music is, of course, great. Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen shine through as Timon and Pumbaa, and the film comes alive whenever they're on screen. Otherwise, you're going to be watching this and you just continually want to go back and rewatch the animated original or the Broadway show instead, or heck, even an episode of Planet Earth.
That is a challenge, though. If you're trying to make the animals realistic, they wouldn't have the facial expressions that the animation would have.
Exactly. You'd need to have them, like, have eyebrows and maybe, like, their mouths stretch out to kind of ridiculous degrees. But someone put it great that if the animals just had 10% more emotion on their faces, the movie would be 75% better.
Oh. It does look gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You just pause some shots here, and it looks like, I mean, the technical skill on hand is amazing. It looks like a nature documentary.
And the original songs and the original music.
Yep, they're back. I mean, Be Prepared is a little shorter, which isn't as fun. Beyonce's here with a new song, which is kind of okay. Didn't blow me away.
All right, what's the rating?
Oh, sadly, 2.5. Billy Eichner's out of 5. I mean, he is amazing in the movie. He is so funny. But
the kids are going to like it.
The kids will love it. Yeah, parents, take your kids. They'll be entertained.
All right. Next week.
Next week, we have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the next film from Quentin Tarantino.
With a local actor.
A local actor. A little claim to fame there.
That's right. Exciting. We've had him on live at 4, and looking forward to seeing the movie. We'll stay just to see what you think.
See you next week.
Yep, see you guys.
All right, thanks, Will.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Hurry.
No accidents to point out, which of course is good news for us. Looking at the Beltline right at Park Street, you can see quite a bit of traffic though on both the east and westbound sides. Things getting backed up just a little bit in both directions, but again, no accidents. Lots of construction, of course, around the Janesville area. Delays for the eastbound side. We're seeing speeds down to the upper teens, close to 20, but at least things are still moving until you get a little closer to that Rimrock Road exit. Then we're getting some stop and go traffic there. Westbound, things slow down after Fitch-Hatchery Road and then start to pick back up again the closer you get towards Verona. A lot of delays around Middleton and then also up towards Wanakee on 113. Things going a little slower than the speed limit, but overall don't look too bad. 27 minutes to get from Janesville to the Beltline. It'll take you about 17 minutes to get from Sauk City to Middleton, and then from Sun Prairie to downtown should be about an 18-minute commute this evening. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Jenna, thank you. Sign this guy up at this weekend's Angels-Mariners game. A fan makes a one-handed catch while seated, while holding his baby, while holding a soda. He didn't spill a drop, didn't miss a beat. The guy behind him thought he had a souvenir ball this time.
Wow,
that's a good catch.
That's a great catch.
One-handed.
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't spill a drop.
Well, I bet you heard our next guest during Dana's weather forecast. Hi, Marissa.
Hi.
It's time for Pet of the Week, and who is this big guy?
This big guy is Monty, and yes, you heard a big voice from a very big kitty here.
And he's not that overweight.
No, but it's just a lot of fuzz, and he's just a big guy. So Monty here is is a senior, but kind of on that younger end, so maybe around 8 or 9 years old. So he's still pretty active, although he does love a nice couch to snuggle up on.
He's calming down now, and he's look at his beautiful green eyes. His coloring is so pretty. He looks like a little lion.
I know.
Those whiskers. And he was a stray?
Yep, he was found stray into forest, and so while we do know a little bit about his age and his personality now, I think he could fit in a lot of different homes, but you're going to want to make sure to have a nice slow introduction, especially with these slightly older kitties. They might be kind of set in their ways, so you want to take it nice and easy for them.
He's got a lot of hair.
He does, and so that's another thing to keep in mind with Monty here is he is going to take some grooming. At this medium length hair, you do need to brush them, and especially with this heat that we've been having lately, you want to keep them well groomed as well.
Look at those whiskers.
I know, doesn't he have a beautiful face?
He's just gorgeous.
And he really is a lap cat. He's just completely content to sit in your
look
lap.
at the side. Look at
I was going to say,
the
he
monitor.
will take up an entire lap.
He's purring now.
So perfect for winter, too. He'll keep you warm the whole season.
Oh, what a good boy.
So you got some job openings.
We do, especially with our admitting team. So if you want to meet every single animal that comes in the doors of Dane County Humane Society, this is the team for you. We have full and part-time positions with that team, and you get to do all the initial exams, all the medication, make sure our kitties and dogs are getting everything they need.
Do you need specialized training to do that?
Nope,
or
we'll do
special
all that
requirements?
training, and so there aren't that many requirements, but you can take a look at giveshelter.org for that whole list.
So, all right, that's a good deal. All right, last time I wasn't here, but Mr. Franke had fun with the ferret, right?
Yes, we had Dillinger the ferret, and he did get adopted. We were excited for that little guy.
Great news. Yeah, he was fun.
And you have a lot of cats right now, a lot of kittens.
We do. So we're having a kitten season right now, but we also do have a lot of these senior kitties. So no matter what age or personality you're looking for, we have a kitty for you.
The older cats get, the sweeter they get, I think.
I really think so too.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for those seniors.
I am too. They calm down, just like this week. They just want to curl up and be pet.
Yeah.
And this is cat weather. Walking the dogs last week was not a thrill.
Yep. AC and the couch is perfect cat weather.
All right, well, let's get Monty a home here. Go to the website, giveshelter.org, 838-0413, for information on him and all the critters available and jobs as well. Marissa, thank you.
Thanks, Marissa. Great to see you.
Next time. Right back with the final check of your forecast.
Ready to roll playback?
perfect summer evening.
Oh, fantastic outside right now, especially after last week. It's a nice little break, a little reminder of what summer's supposed to be like when you can just get outside and enjoy the weather. As we look at our live sky cam right here from WISC-TV, we have a nice blue sky, a few clouds in the sky, but this is pretty much the picture for us throughout the area. And of course, our Doppler track is quiet. Wherever you may be, we aren't expecting any showers to build in for us overnight. Currently sitting at 76 in Madison, about 77 in Janesville, and 73 in Mineral Point. Compared to this time yesterday, it's actually quite a bit cooler outside for much of the area. As we look at our heat index readings, here's the other good news. They're sitting right where actual temperatures are. We don't have to factor in much humidity, so as you step outside, it should feel just positively delightful through this evening. Good news, tomorrow also looking pretty nice for us. We will be in the mid-50s, mid to upper 50s for overnight lows, so a little cool early in the morning, and then sunshine throughout the day. We'll be in the upper 70s, close to 80 for our afternoon highs for your Tuesday, but really another delightful day. And much of the work week does also look pretty nice, staying right at or below average. It's not until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that we'll start to see our heat index readings peak back up again. We'll be a little closer to 90 for Friday and Saturday, but it's still not as bad as last week, and it's going to be very short this time. It'll cool back down again by Monday.
And the average highs are starting to go down already.
They are starting to go down, and I was reminded last night that our days are starting to really get shorter. You can notice it a little more, especially for some people driving home in their evenings. They're all of a sudden seeing the sunset a little earlier.
Don't complain about the heat.
No.
Last week we could. That was,
last week we could.
That was justified.
This week is nice. I don't want to hear it.
All right. Thank you, Dana. Tomorrow here on Live at 4, we'll preview Madison Magazine's upcoming summer taste event.
And Consumer Reports says eating too much sugar, as you know, is bad for you. But how much is too much, and what about sugar substitutes? We'll have the answers. Talk about that tomorrow on Live at 4. In today's Final Touch, it's Christmas in July.
And apparently being Santa Claus is a year-long job. Just ask the 150 Santas from around the world who left Rudolph and the elves at home to make early Christmas preparations at their annual meet in Denmark. Santas from as far as Japan and El Salvador